Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Alright, y'all, so we about to tell y'all about how we first met. Our whole story is unlike most boy meets girl stories. So, here we go.
5 years later.
Who he think he is? He ugly.
He ugly. Ivory. Daddy ugly?
Yeah.
She thinks so too.
Right. Even out of the mouth of babes.
They're ugly.
That's right.
They're ugly.
Don't say that.
No, that's good. See what y'all done did to my baby?
No, it's all for PR purposes. What? He keeps her pregnant and makes. Wait, man, I can't get upset.
Nah, come on, read it.
He keeps her pregnant and make her his wife for two reasons. One, because it embodies the brand and image he's trying to portray. He keeps me pregnant for your. You keep me pregnant for your friend?
For the image, why not?
What in the world?
Yep.
He knows nobody is going. What?
To want her with.
I know. I started reading in my mind. He knows nobody's gonna want her with 3 to 4 kids, so it's easier to control her. These are games of a mentally abusive narc.
Narc. Yes.
What in the world?
All right, here we go. He has broken her confidence. Get it back, baby girl.
Oh man.
Come on, that's the only thing you're lacking.
She's so pretty. Feel so sorry for her. She deserves a man who loves her whole. Oh, poor thing.
Come on, that's right.
Oh,
The stupidest people are often the happiest.
It's true.
It's true.
Dang, I'm stupid now.
Yeah, the big dumb energy. Come on, don't act like you don't know.
All Africans act this way in Houston. Because they definitely know every African in Houston. That's completely possible. You're right.
Here we go. Let's go.
He's going to replace you as soon as he finds what he's looking for. Guard your heart, stack your money, and protect your children.
Protect the babies.
Dang.
Come on.
His kids will hear this BS one day.
Yes.
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 I'm sad that you think it's BS.
Yeah? No, you're not. Oh my God. This is horrible. Why are you even together? This man is embarrassing you worldwide. That's not just locally. Worldwide.
He played her throughout this whole love story. Tired of people hiding mean and rude comments under the guise of being honest.
Man. It be something. It's okay. Yeah. Response this Sunday. Happy Get Twisted Sundays, people.
Tobe released I guess he released a song responding to the criticism that he got from his love story. I'm thinking about it, but it's just like, I don't even feel like it's really worth it. I'm gonna just tell y'all now. Okay, so he's basically trying to say that people are weaponizing his vulnerability. And listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm very big on allowing men to be vulnerable and not weaponizing their vulnerability. And what I need Tobe to understand is that no one really cared about his honesty. You know, honestly, I think a lot of women appreciated his honesty throughout that video. I know I did. Because we have a lot of men out here that they have hidden intentions. They string you along, they lie, they manipulate, and they play these games. And, you know, throughout that whole series, he was honest with her. You know, for that, I can appreciate. You know, the thing that really turned people off from his series was his arrogance. His arrogance. That's what people didn't like. It wasn't his vulnerability. It wasn't. I need him to understand that. It wasn't his vulnerability that turned people off. It was his arrogance. You know, he really tried. I mean, the way he told the story was, he felt like he was always better than her. Simply off the strength of him being a man and him being a man, and she wanted him more than he wanted her. And so for that, he felt he was better. It was his arrogance that turned a lot of women off to their love story, right? Okay. But then what turned it off even more was throughout the whole series, because I think there was like 6 parts, it never got to a point where his arrogance changed and he became softer and he became a man. He went from being a boy to a man, and he pursued her outright. You know, like there was no switch, there was no turn off throughout that story. So it wasn't that his vulnerability was the issue, it was the fact it never got to that point where he changed and out in the way the story was told to us. And we can only go off of what was told. So I'm also going to say this, like, I have parents that have been married for 30 years. I don't look at them as relationship goals, because no relationship is perfect. No marriage is perfect. No relationship is perfect. You're going to go through your ups, downs, trials, tribulations, you know, and depending on what that is, that depends on a tolerance level for whoever's going through it. And if she wanted to put up with all of that, that's a choice that she made. And I'm not going to judge her for that. I'm not, because I don't know what headspace she was in at that time. You know, Gabrielle Union came out and said that if she was back in that situation where Dwayne Wade had a break baby on her, if she would have taken him back, and she said no. And I told you guys in that video, I said, I wonder if Fat would have still stayed. Like, if she could go back and redo things, would she have done it the same way? I don't think she would have. Because when you become, the older you get, the more you grow, the more you experience, you know, your mind changes. And some things that you did when you were younger, you wouldn't do in your more, I would say, older age in life. So I wonder if she would even repeat some of the things that she did back then. That's why I don't judge her for her story. The same thing with Tobe, but it seems like he's pretty confident in how he acted, you know. And I think that's what really turned people off about him. I don't think it was his vulnerability, you guys. So I felt like his song, it just, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. That's what I got. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. You know, people are weaponizing my vulnerability against me. And I'm like, no, it was your arrogance. It was your arrogance. That's what it was. If I could, I would have never said hi to certain people. Right. But was he wrong for not liking her in the beginning? No. Who said that? Listen, these men are not obligated to like anybody. Just like you're not obligated to stay. And that's the thing that I didn't understand with Fat. She trying to make it seem like this is about healing. She talking about you deserve to heal. Yeah, you deserve to heal, but you also deserve to heal, release, and let go. Not hold on. And that's what I don't like. That story promotes staying in a toxic situation. And I just don't see where it got better, y'all. That's like, if people could see where it got better, I think people's responses, you know, would have been different. But I'm like, it didn't get better. It was more of their love story is based off of tolerance. And I don't like that, because if it was really about love, when will we ever see a woman in the opposing predicament or situation, right? Like where a woman is making a man go through hell and high waters. Because he put her through a lot. Like the situation where he took her to an event and was like, oh, don't go too far away, don't go too far off, but stay close by, but don't be too close to me because I'm trying to weigh out my options with other people. Would a man ever put up with something like that? Until a man is in a position like how Fat was in and stayed out of love, right? Because it's about love, then maybe I'll buy into it. But I'm not buying into that. I'm not buying into that. If the roles were reversed, it wouldn't be love. It would be a story that never completed, or a situation that came to an end, came to a close, as women should. But no, we're taught to stay, forgive, and heal. And well, you know, part of healing is releasing. I'm gonna tell y'all that. Don't skip that part. And you see, black women, we were not taught to release. We were taught to hold on. We were taught to hold on, hold it down, hold on, be a ride or die. No, release. Don't forget that part. And that's the part that so many want to leave out. Release. What you holding on for? And it's really that simple. Like, really, let it go. Then, and that's how you close out a toxic cycle, though. Because that's the thing. A lot of people feel like, oh, if I heal and if I release and move on, it's not going to come back. It may. No one is saying, but you got to complete the cycle, though. Y'all want to continue the cycle and continue the cycle. And then y'all wonder why I'm like, why am I in the same cycle that I've been in for 5 years? It's because you don't let go. You heal, you release, you let go. That is the order of healing. If you hold on to something, you're just going to repeat that cycle. And all you're doing when you heal from the last cycle that you went in, and then you didn't release and let go, you know what's going to happen? It's going to start up all over again. But you in a new cycle, same thing, different story. Literally. You have to let go. The reason why the black community as a whole is stuck. I mean, we still having conversations that were going on 10 years ago. And that's why I'm getting off this Looney Tune. I don't even know what to call it no more. I'm like, damn, we've been having these conversations since 10 years ago. And 10 years before that, and 10 years before that. I'm like, are y'all not tired of having the same damn conversation? But you know why we keep having the same conversation within the black community? It's because we don't know how to let go and move the hell on. And this is why I'm like, I'm done having these conversations. Like, I had these conversations 5 years ago. You think I'm about to still have these same conversations with y'all? No. Some of y'all just gonna have to get left behind. I'm sorry. Because my life, it's still going. Like, it doesn't just stop just because these men don't want to get it together. Well, if they don't want to get it together, I guess you're just going to have to leave their asses behind. The hell are you holding on for? Your life is passing you by. And you want to have a conversation that black people have been having since 10 years ago and 10 years before that? Make that make sense. We talk about black women in luxury. Well, part of it is moving on. Not staying stuck and stagnant. That's why you have an auntie right now. Somebody got an auntie in their family right now that's still stuck like it's 1992. Like, girl. So, if you don't get nothing from this, move on. Like, yes, heal. Release. I just came out with a video on my Patreon for my spiritual tier. Releasing is so important. And to the women that practice that spiritual routine that I put up on my Patreon, a lot of them feel lighter. Shoulders just feel lighter. Like, you know how good it feels to release something that was such a burden on you. And you know, it's energetically heavy. It weighs you down. It weighs you down and it keeps you stuck and it keeps you stagnant and you can't move forward. So to the women that did the release routine, whatever you want to call it, I know you feel better. Like, I even feel it. Like, some of the things that I released during that spiritual routine, I already feel the burdens being released off of my shoulders. And it's the mental clarity that you get. It's the mental clarity that you get. And I feel like it's because you intentionally and energetically decided to release. So now all your mental clarity is coming back. You have more energy. So it's like you have to release. You cannot skip that part. And you have to let go and move on. And that is how you get your happiness. I appreciate men that are just honest. I do. And that's why, like, when it comes to the whole Tobe situation, it's like I appreciated his honesty. I just didn't like his arrogance. That's it. And I didn't like how he treated Fat throughout the Love Story series. Like, I just didn't like how he talked to her. You know, there's a difference between, and I learned this in therapy, there's a difference between when you talk at someone and when you talk to someone. And when you talk at someone, you're not allowing them to respond. You're just talking at them, and they're just there to listen. But when you talk to someone, you're allowing this exchange, this verbal exchange. But when you talk at someone, there's no verbal exchange. And it's almost like, through the Love series, he didn't allow her to speak and to tell her truth and her side of things, and maybe where she was and the lack of growth that she was in at that time. That's just my opinion. I don't expect for people to be perfect. I don't. Because we all are here having a human experience, and everyone is called here to go through their own stuff. So it's like, you have to give grace to people in that way. But when it comes to certain phases that you're in, people are allowed not to accept it. So if a man is being a player, you don't have to extend grace to where you're sticking it out and, yeah, girl, he my man, but that's her man too. Like, girl, nobody's saying you got to accept people just because they're in this phase that's not the greatest. You can leave them. You don't have to accept that. You can even love them from a distance. So people don't have to accept you in certain phases, within their growth. Like, even my friend of 10 years, I still love her. Like, that's just not something that's just going to stop just because she's in this space and I'm at this space. And it's just about being in two different spaces in our lives, right? But I don't have to accept her where she is right now. And it doesn't mean that I don't love her or love her any less or that I don't care about her. It's just that we're in two separate spaces. And she's just not at that space where I am, where it's just like, I just don't want to be around toxicity, like, at all. It's not even just her. Like, I can understand if I was just singling her out, but then I'm out here hanging out with some other toxic people. It's like, no, honey, like, I done let go, like, of all of it. Family members, like, anybody that's just causing just confusion or drama, you gotta go.